30 minutes. Conditions apply. The time by Sagicor Bank is...
It is now 7 o'clock. Time for the Morning Watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello, to the morning watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, guard rings, violent behavior, and criminal activities in our schools, realities and responses. In the second watch, Population Housing Census 2022 and you. For our social media question we ask, how would you manage the violent behavior of some students in school? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
Morning. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt.
So true. Good.
Yes, a very interesting quote. I like it.
Yeah. Good morning, Rasheen.
Good morning, sir. I know that you are a great mind. And
both of us.
Yes, indeed. We're not discussing any people this morning, so we're not small-minded this morning. But I trust you're well. How was your week off, if I should put it that way?
It was okay on my weekend. How was your weekend?
Well, it was busy, I think, because I don't remember resting much, but it was a very hectic weekend for me.
Okay. Trust you have a good weekend. No?
Yes, indeed. And I know
you come and have a good week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And blessings. Stay tuned.
All right. The first watch will be back after this break.
I tell you about short-term motor insurance from JNGI. Short-term, you choose what you need. 30, 60, 90 days policy. No long commitment, full third party. Don't park your car, don't walk, get a shotty. So affordable and it's not per nation market. JNGI shorty, country party, we have a shorty. Just insure your vehicle and start it. Roll out with a shorty. Shorty, the short-term motor insurance from JN General Insurance. Available only online.
Daddy, when we're going home, I'm bored.
Oh, my daughter, you can use my brother data and watch some YouTube or something else.
Really, Daddy? I can watch my favorite shows right now, but what if the data done?
You know that the data can't done on my Digicel Prime Brata bundle.
OMG, thanks, Daddy. Look, there's a new episode. Let me watch it now.
Enjoy your favorite apps anywhere you're there with data with a Digicel Prime Brata bundle. Dial star 147 number sign from your Digicel phone to activate today. Digicel, made in Jamaica.
Rio Grande to the south coast. Hotel workers and man we're off boat. This a for the craft vendors, red cap porters and transportation at airport. Jamaica tourism pension plan, building towards the future. For tourism workers across the island, retirement benefits to contributions. Every worker in the industry, permanent self-employed contract. For your service you deserve security. Yes you do. Tourism workers pension plan, build a bright future. Yes you can. Tourism workers workers pension plan. Workers invest through contribution. All tourism workers, age 18 to 59. Tourism workers pension plan.
Start making your contributions for a brighter future.
For further information, visit mot.gov.jm or call 876-920-4926-30.
Ooh la la! I see what I want at the Fosrich Super Sale, March 21 to 31, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Come get your wires, breakers, chandeliers, wall lamps, LED bulbs, and so much more. Shop in Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. You can't afford to miss it. Come shop, come save at Fosrich Super Sale, March 21 to 31. See you there at Fosrich.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Roshan?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah. An echo.
All right, just
what's going on?
let me see if I can fix that for you. All right, I'm guessing it's better now. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, last week, Monday, tragedy struck the William Knibb High School as a student, Kamal Hall, was reportedly killed on the school compound by one of his schoolmates. According to a Gleaner report, Hall was killed after being accused by one of his classmates of stealing his friend's guard ring. Incident has once again brought to the fore the issue of violent behavior and criminal activities within our schools. Is this becoming the order of the day? And what are the realities? And how should we respond to those realities? Well, to answer these and other related questions we have online, the Reverend Jonathan Hemmings, chair of the William Knibb High School Board, and Mrs. Tracy Ann Taft Thompson, president of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to have you both with us. Well, first let me express condolences to the family and the school family of the deceased, Kamal Hall, as well as sympathies to the family of the alleged individual who inflicted the deadly wound. Reverend Hemmings, it's sad that William Knibb High School is now getting this type of exposure for such an unfortunate incident. Be that as it may, what is your understanding of what really took place on that fateful day? And as far as you're aware, what role did an alleged guard ring play in the entire incident? Reverend Hemmings.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and to your listeners.
Yeah.
I am grateful for the opportunity to share on this issue. I suspect that I was invited so to do because of my connection to the incident that has highlighted some serious problems that we are having as a society. I think the media has sufficiently aired much of what not just transpired, but contributed to this very tragic occurrence. And yes, the families are to be in our thoughts and our prayers. The school community ought to be in our thoughts and prayers, students and teachers. And I suppose as a society, we are all feeling the impact because it is reflective not of what is taking place in one or two families or in a school community, but it is reflective of where our nation is at this time. Things and experiences and phenomena are are to be understood within their context. And I think we need to try to come to terms with what constitutes our context as a nation and as a people that has led to this very tragic incident, which, by the way, is really not an isolated one.
Mm-hmm.
The Ministry of Education has already indicated that since they returned to school or after the COVID lockdown, a number of stabbings have been reported. In the William Knibb context, we have, based on the practitioners and functionaries on the ground, they have indicated that students have come back with greater levels of aggression. And so we are asking questions, what really contribute to this? I have always maintained that COVID-19 has not created any new issues or problems for us. It has only highlighted and exacerbated existing issues and problems. What are the existing or were the existing issues and problems that have been highlighted, exacerbated by, as reflected in this incident? I think for a long time our society, for very obvious reasons, have been operating under the cloud of fear and anxiety. The level of violence that exists in our society, we can well imagine, has significantly contributed to this, existing fear and anxiety among persons. You can well, Reverend Toussaint, see the link between a gathering and that which I have just described. Because a gathering is an indication that persons are concerned about security.
Mm-hmm.
The dominant narrative that governs life is one that feeds and fuels fear and anxiety. And when I speak of the dominant narrative, I'm speaking globally. Wars and rumors of wars, what transpires on social media, much of these is really to foment fear and anxiety. No wonder persons, go around with this felt need for security, and they resort to all sorts of things, including a gathering. Children go to school armed with weapons for their own protection. Our society has become obsessed with guns, and much of it is for protection. We are operating within a context where people feel extremely insecure. Added to that, the dominant narrative is one that socializes us to see the other not as a friend or as a neighbor or as a brother, but to see the other as an enemy or a stranger, someone to be feared.
Yeah, could you just hold that thought a little for me, Reverend Hemmings? I want to bring in Mrs. Thompson before we go to the break. Mrs. Taft Thompson.
Hello, morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, right. Your personal experience and with your interaction with other guidance counselors,
Right.
how widespread are such incidents?
I agree with Reverend Hemmings. This is not something new. It's not something isolated to William Knibb. There have been reports of elevations in aggression and the display of such. The counselors have to be seeking even implementing more programs for behavior modification. They have to be dealing with anger management as a top priority, and it's not uncommon. It's just unfortunate that now this has to be brought right up to the front because of the death of a student. But it is something that the schools are aware of and that the councillors are really doing their best to implement programs to address that. Reverend Hemmings mentioned some causes. Well, I consider them causes, reasons why we have this high levels of violent displays. And I just want to echo them that, the frustration, the fear, and it's fear of many things, even the unknown, what's going to happen next. The need even to...
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mrs. Staff Thompson. I'm sorry. We just hold that thought, please. We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
No problem.
Chunky, spicy, and delicious. Lasco mackerel. Get hooked on the tastiest mackerel around. The time by Lasco mackerel is
7:15.
Things you can do online with NCB in 10.6 minutes or less. On your marks, go! Open a bank account. Open an investment account. Get a fast cash or pay advance loan. Sign up for our mobile app and pay bills, make transfers, and check your balances. Get pre-qualified for your dream home. Apply for a credit card. Apply for an auto loan to buy your dream car. Visit www.jncb.com/getdigital to get your financial goals moving NCB fast.
We are doing a crazy attack. You see me means a real G, real go-getter. My life move non-stop. So me have to stay link and floor yard and road. And my connect and one plan link me up at home with Wi-Fi and on my mobile with data and calls to any network. At my yard, non-stop streaming my vibes. I studying for my picnic them and out the road. And non-stop vibes, same way. Flow connect me non-stop for as little as $3,999 a month plus GCT. I forget it. Visit discoverflow.co. Conditions apply.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we are discussing the whole matter of violent behavior, criminal activities, gatherings in our schools, realities and responses. And we have online the Reverend Jonathan Hemmings, chairman of the William Knibb High School Board, and Mrs. Tracy Ann Taft Thompson, president of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education. Before the break, Mrs. Taft Thompson, you're giving us some idea of what maybe the underlying cause is.
Right. So we find that they would be experiencing some amount of frustration and confusion. I wanted to add that there is a void in our students. They need something. And if we or the family cannot fill that void, then they are going to be attracted and gravitate towards something else. So I believe, depending on the source, where did they get these rings? They really feel the need to be protected. And we have to really look at what do the rings represent to them. Why is it that they need to have it on them at all times? I believe Reverend Hemmings did mention that, they need this protection. Yeah. What do they need protection from? And that's what we really need to be asking, finding out what is it that scares you? What is it that you feel that is a threat to your human existence? So those are the questions that I really believe should be answered by us as a people, because, again, it is not just William Knibb. It is our students, island-wide. They have a need, and we need to find out what the need is and how best we can fill it before something else that's undesirable fills it.
Reverend Hemmings, you have any answers to those questions? What the need for the gathering?
What we're seeking protection from is a myriad of things. You could characterize it or summarize it in a protection from the supernatural, but also from the natural.
Right.
We know that in recent times this gathering phenomenon has been employed or embraced by persons who are said to be involved in a certain kind of criminality. And what they are seeking protection from is not from ghosts and duppies, it's from police and from their own cronies who take them out. So it's not just from the supernatural that they are seeking protection, but it's from the natural. We know, it is reflective again of a society that has confused superstition with the supernatural. I don't think some persons have sufficiently drawn a clear line between both, and so because of that, there's a lot of superstition even in religion, established religion, even in the church.
Okay.
We're living in a society where I've been saying trust is almost absent. I've been saying wherever I get the opportunity that we need to address the trust deficit in our society. And this is reflected where persons don't trust. They don't even trust God. But persons who don't trust will believe anything. And that's why, some of the most ridiculous, seemingly ridiculous things are believed and embraced, even by people in religion, as we have seen played out in recent times here. Because of the absence of trust, people are willing to even clutch on straws in terms of what they believe. And this gathering is but one of the straws on which persons are clutching because we don't trust each other, and more so, we don't trust God.
You had mentioned earlier, Reverend Hemmings, people confusing superstition with the supernatural. What's the distinction?
Well, I think I tried to flesh it out. The superstition is the belief in things and just about anything. I want to use supernatural here as belief in the person that God is, that there is a power beyond us. It might be an untidy distinction, but that's what I have in mind.
Mrs. Taff Thompson, your organization,
Right.
how has it been, meaningfully trying to address the issues and the concerns that we have been raising in this discussion and beyond?
Okay. Currently, we have the wheels in motion to have a week of prayer exercise, and we believe firmly in prayer. It's my belief, and it's shared by other members, that our association is similar to a ministry. We work on behalf of God, and we firmly believe in prayer. Separate and apart from that, to be practical, we're hosting a healing camp for students, especially high school students, next week Friday. That will be at Church on the Rock. And the aim of that camp is to offer a safe space for children who need that kind of release, because they need a break. They need a mental space, a safe space. Reverend Hemmings spoke about trust. That is it's very important. If you don't trust a system, how can you allow it to protect you and to believe that it means you well? So trust is one aspect that we're looking at to see, where's the breakdown, and to listen to them, to have the students be able to express themselves, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and how best to move forward. Because some of these aggressions and violences are causes of what is missing, what's missing from the life, what happened for the last 2 or 3 years. And it goes beyond COVID. COVID really just has emphasized our issues, our emotional issues. And it's very unfortunate that we are not paying attention to our emotional or physical or spiritual side. That's a part of us. Just like a physical, we eat every day, but how many of us meditate? How many of us spend that quiet time to, connect to a being higher than us? How many of us even believe that there is a being higher than us? The mere fact you have a gathering, I would think you think that there is something greater than you out there. So practically, we are really trying to touch as many lives as we can. And one way is through the healing camp. Last week, we touched our girls. Last week, Thursday and Friday, we had a virtual girls conference. And the girls were able, the primary school girls and the high school girls were able to listen to some great speakers and to know that they are not alone. We as women are here with you, and we're here to guide you. We're here to teach you. So we're trying to build back that level of trust and confidence in adults. We even had the PEP exam came up, and we had an evening of prayer. So we allowed the PEP students to come on and, to see us. You don't know us, but we don't know you, but we care and we love you. There are people out there who have an unconditional love, and we're modeling what Jesus and what we're saying to them on a daily basis through our devotional exercises. We have to be practical in demonstrations of love. That's the only way our children will know that we really do care and we really will protect.
Yeah. Reverend Hemmings, I think I'm sensing that in the society, there's a growing sense of apathy and cynicism toward what has been taking place, in regards to what has been taking place in our schools over the years. Because they're saying that all these schools have devotions and sessions and counseling, and yet still, it doesn't seem as if things are getting any better. In 2 minutes, how would you respond quickly to that?
I think as a society, we have to seriously address the elephant in the room. That how we are being and have been socialized over the years have created some serious mental health issues. Mental health issues. It's not just physical and spiritual, yes, but mental health issues. If you ask me, the church has not been very helpful over time in this, because they have stigmatized or contributed to the stigmatizing of mental health, so that it has been avoided and swept under the carpet. I think I am sensing now that persons are more willing to face the issue as it is. When you hear that a student who is very quiet and seem well behaved behaves in a certain way, like walking into a classroom with an automatic weapon and killing 30 odd of his fellow students. It's a mental health thing. If this same profile of a student uses a knife, because that is a weapon that is available to him, and inflicts deadly wound on somebody else, same profile, quiet, it's a mental health issue. And we have to look at how we have been socializing our youngsters, to mitigate against it. Some years ago, I think the Gleaner published an article that there's an alarming level of mental health sickness among our populace, and we need to just address that.
Quick word, Mrs. Staff Thompson. Less than a minute.
Right. I agree that our mental state, and as Jamaicans, we have to really try and not be hypocritical, because that brings some level of confusion to the children who are coming up. And we have to view our children, they are plants, or view them similar to plants. They only bloom and blossom depending on the environment that we place them in. So we as adults, we need to ensure that we create the environments that will cause them to bloom and blossom and to produce good fruit, because they're producing fruits. But what kind of fruit? If we don't give them the right amount of sunlight, we don't give them the right amount and quality of water, that determines how they grow. So we have to take some responsibility too to how our children, they are our children, how are our children responding to what we are feeding them.
Well said. Thank you very much, Mrs. Taff Thompson and the Reverend Hemmings, for joining us this morning. Have a productive and safe day.
Very same to you. Thanks.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Now with no processing fees and no down payment, it's time to open the door to your own sweet home. The time by JN Bank is
7:30 approaching 7:31.
Best cheese in the world come from Jamaica. In a little tin called tasty cheese. From the old to the young, them love that cheese, yeah. In a little tin called tasty cheese. Can't stay at home if we not have tasty cheese. Can't hold a vibe if we not have tasty cheese. Easter I come me have to have tasty cheese. Family I link up me have to have tasty cheese. Oh yeah, all a little vibe of the sound, all a little vibe. All a little vibe and thing, yeah. All our vibes with the family this Easter with tasty cheese.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth, and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening, and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May, June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
Blue side, more vibe, let's flow. Data from the mobile apps and where you know. Yeah, flow is the way I gotta go. Yeah, face it, grab it, tweet it, snap it, tune it or WhatsApp it. You got it? No Spotify and the rhythm of your life. TikTok to the world that we are enjoying. Flow is the way to go.
Flow turns up the app. Now your unlimited talk and social plan comes with data for all the apps you really want, including TikTok and Spotify. Get a 7-day plan for only $725. Dial *129*6 to activate. Conditions apply.
Stakeholders, items exported temporarily for repairs or for commercial use must first be registered with the Jamaica Customs Agency using an electronic customs declaration EX2 completed by a customs approved agent. Re-imported items which are upgraded, altered, or replaced may attract a customs duty. For customs related matters, you may email public.relations@jca.gov.jm or telephone 876-922-51408. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's take a look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, Mommy, me dead. Clarendon parents, school racked with pain after 13-year-old fatally stabbed. Also in the Gleaner, Jarrett blames JC board for contract sabotage. We see also that Nigel Clark elected IDB chairman. In the Observer, compromised care at Cornwall Regional Hospital, not true, says CEO. And in the Observer as well, series triumph put smile on Skerritt's face. As well it should. And also, rock bottom, comedian Blacker Ellis weighs in on Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. Those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. How would you manage the violent behavior of some students in school? Please leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Okay, where are the campus-ites?
Hey campus-ites! This week inside Campus Connection, you get to show us your talent. Get ready to call us because it's Open Campus. This Tuesday, March 29 at 5:30 p.m. inside Campus Connection, we open the phone lines for you to call. You get to sing your favorite song or share your favorite poem because it's Open Campus. Campus-ites, start preparing your talent piece now because tomorrow you will be in the spotlight and we've got a surprise just for you. That's Campus Connection, and it happens this and every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. with hosts Jonathan Fletcher and Anesta Samuels right here on the family station Love 101.
He knows my name.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of global crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474. It's the telephone counseling ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church.
This is a reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
He knows my name.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's join Roshane for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. How would you manage the violent behavior of some students in school? Roshane?
All right, let's start with this one from Phyllis over there in St. Thomas.
Good morning, Uncle Stokey. You know, in this time and age, we can't beat our children or anything. So we need to get these children, sit them down and let them express their feelings. Let them tell you what is going on. Because if we don't know what is going on, we can't solve no problem. So maybe all one whole day, instead of teaching the children to read and write, doing math and other things, take them, have a day of talking in each school and each class, get strangers, not the teacher, because sometimes they are scared to talk, and let them express their feelings, and you go from there and correct it.
All right, another one here from Monica. She's saying, I agree, as parents, we have to take responsibility for the children. I keep my children close to me, and I sit and talk with them and I grow them up in church. I told them that I am their mom and friend, and they can talk with me about everything and anything. So that's basically, those are the comments we're seeing at this time.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I want to thank those who responded. Really appreciate your thoughts and comments. Well, as we segue into the second watch, Statin needs you. 8,000 of you, in fact. Indeed, it is in need of census takers and supervisors to conduct the population and housing census. Now, recruitment reportedly started 10 days ago and is scheduled to end on April 3. But what is a population and housing census really about? And what does it have to do with me and you in 2022? To answer these and other related questions, we have joining us Mrs. Georgia Garvey Green, Corporate Communications Manager at Statin. Good morning, Mrs. Garvey Green.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
How are you doing?
Very good.
Great. Good to have you.
Well.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Sure.
Great. Well, Mrs. Garvey Green, the world is now basically concerned about a pandemic known as COVID-19 and the possibility of a World War III. Why should we be considering a population and housing census within this context?
All right, so a population and housing census really is a count of our population. And in a population and housing census, we also ask additional questions. It is important in the sense that the census helps us to plan as a country. It helps the government to plan, especially in emergencies. You can appreciate that. The government would need to have correct, accurate figures on our population, where persons are living, the conditions that they are living in order to plan effectively for them. Also, individuals and or NGOs, if they have to respond in an emergency, given the context that we are living in, they would need to have a better understanding of our people, where they are at, their living conditions, and how best to attend to their needs. So this is the sort of information that a census data can help with. And that's why we are doing our population and housing census. We do a census once every 10 years. The last census was in 2011, but the pandemic came. So we had to shift it from 2021 to this year, 2022.
So what about those, Mrs. Garvey Green, who are going to say that, boy, we are bogged down with the issues related to COVID. We are concerned about our jobs. We are not well. We are grieving. I mean, you're bringing all this upon us at this time. How do you respond to those people?
Well, we know that we're in a climate where there is great uncertainty. Some persons have been affected by COVID more than others, right? However, we have to also look to how we can come out of this situation as a better nation, as better people, better planning for our future. And the census, as I said, helps us to plan as we move forward. In uncertainty, it is important. We're not going to just throw down everything and give up. We still have to move forward and to plan not just for this generation, but also for the next generation. And the census data that we're collecting now will be used for the next 10 years, along with other survey data that we will do along the way. So the census data forms the basis of most of the other surveys that we do at Statin, or that other international agencies will do, or even students, because school is still going on. For example, our nursing students, when they have their practicals, they're still going into the community that they're going to care for. They need census data to help them to better understand that community and to prepare them to serve the community that they are going into.
Yeah, when is it really scheduled to begin, Mrs. Garvey Green? And the 1 year delay, how will it affect the accuracy and authenticity of the data collected?
All right. So the data collection, planning for the census started a while back. Data collection will begin in September and goes up until December.
Oh.
The everything remains the same in terms of our methodology. Our questionnaire was compiled by our stakeholders and also based on international standards, because most countries conduct a census. We are part of the wider international statistical community. So we use international standards to develop our questionnaire.
Tell you
And
what,
also,
Mrs. Garvey, could you just hold that thought, please? We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
50 and over, get the best health plan as well as fabulous discounts. Visit ccrponline.org today or call 469-1944 and live life to the fullest. The time by CCRP is...
It is now 7:45. Stay tuned. This is Love 101.
The journey to building wealth starts with only a few clicks. Get great returns on your time when you sign up for a JN Fund Manager's investments account online. Visit www.jnfunds.com and follow our easy sign-up steps. No need to visit a JN Fund Manager's location. Do it all from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. It's completely online. Get it done anywhere, anytime, in quick time. Open an investment account online today. JN Fund Managers, your goals realized.
Digicel. Connect with Brata. Theater Kia. Enjoy all your favorite apps and more on Jamaica's fastest network. Activate the Prime Brata bundle for as low as $175 by dialing *147 number sign from your Digicel phone or in the My Digicel app. Connect.
All right. Connect with Brata. Digicel Prime Brata. Theater Kia. Done.
You work hard to make Jamaica a first-class destination. Isn't it time you receive the 5-star benefits? Retire smarter with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, a portable plan that also provides your family with financial security in case of your untimely death. It's easy, affordable, and accessible online. Retire and relax with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme. Visit twps.myguardiangroup.com or call 876-927-4105. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
The following is a message from the Ministry of Tourism.
Without a doubt, tourism is Jamaica's #1 industry, and our dedicated workers are its greatest asset. Jamaica would not be the heartbeat of the world without you. As the industry rebounds from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, we truly need all hands on deck, yours included. Vaccination holds the hope for tourism's full recovery. In addition to COVID-19 protocols, it is the only comprehensive way to fight the pandemic and save lives. I am therefore urging every worker in the tourism and hospitality industry, in all the subsectors, including accommodation, attraction, entertainment, transportation and craft, to do your part and get vaccinated. Do it for yourself, your family, your workplace, and your community. Do it for Jamaica, land we love. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.
The preceding message was brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we are discussing the population and the housing census 2022. And we have online Mrs. Georgia Garvey Green, Corporate Communications Manager of Statin. Mrs. Garvey Green, before the break, you were telling us about the what? It's September to December in terms of the
Right.
collection. Are there any concerns about that time? Would it be adequate to collate the data?
Yes, we normally take roughly, data collection normally takes roughly 3 to 4 months to be completed. We have to canvass the entire population. Our data collectors, our census takers, they go from house to house to administer the census questionnaire to every individual who is living in the house.
Okay. And as you mentioned about census takers, I take it that the recruitment has begun for the key participants. Tell us about the qualifications, qualities, roles, and responsibilities of these individuals.
All right, so we are looking to hire 8,000 census takers and census supervisors. The requirements is a secondary level education, or the individual may have worked with statin before on one of our surveys. So it's a basic requirement, including, your government ID, your TRN, your NIS for employment purposes. In terms of their role, the census taker will have responsibility for, as I said, go from house to house, visit every household, and to administer a individual questionnaire and a household questionnaire. And the individual questionnaire is administered to everyone who is living in the house, and the household questionnaire is a general questionnaire about the household, because we're doing a population and a housing census.
Right.
So we're also taking stock of our houses and the basic amenities and living conditions that persons experience living in these houses.
And how will the training be done?
All right, so for training, it's multimodal. We are doing both face-to-face and in person, face-to-face and virtual training for the census.
Interesting. I gather that will be the first time, eh?
Right. And
Very
it's
interesting.
also the first time that we will be using tablet computers to record the responses of our respondents, of our household.
Also, all the census takers are going to have tablets?
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Right. So we have partnered with eLearning Jamaica, and we have acquired tablets for our census takers. And when we are finished with the tablets, these tablets will be repurposed and used for other purposes given to schools, I assume, to help the technology drive in schools.
Yes. Any particular requirements, qualities, qualifications for the supervisors? I realize you emphasize the census takers. What about the supervisors?
Right, because we are roughly hiring more census takers than census supervisors. So the supervisors, the requirements are pretty much the same. However, the supervisors will have a number of census takers that they will have to manage, and to ensure that they plan their day. They ensure that the census takers stay within the geographical boundaries that they are given. They also ensure that the questionnaires are completed correctly and on time. And if there are persons or household that the census taker comes upon and there is some amount of reluctance in answering the questionnaire, the census supervisor has a responsibility to accompany the census taker and to better explain to the household the importance of participating in the census and completing the questionnaire.
Right, and sorry to come back to the COVID issue. Very, very sorry. But you're going to find reluctance, I'm assuming, of persons to have persons come into their space, into their yard, to ensure that they are properly masked, sanitizing concerns. How are you going to address all of those dynamics?
All right, so from the physical standpoint, we will be equipping our census takers and our census supervisors with the requisite PPE gears. Also, we encourage them to adhere to the different protocols and the social distancing. And we also, through communication, we will be we will let persons know the measures that we're taking, how they should interact with the census taker. It's a responsibility also of the census taker and the respondent to ensure that they adhere to the relevant protocols that exist in terms of social distancing.
And you mentioned about PPE. Tell us about that. They're going to have these hazmat suits?
We're not at that stage yet. Right. But your mask, your face shield, your
Yeah.
hand sanitizers. Right.
Oh,
So
all them going to have face shields
and mask, right.
and masks. Okay. There are concerns. There have been concerns about data safety and security. How do you assure and reassure the population in that regard?
Okay. So this is Jamaica's 15th population and housing census. Statin has been around for quite some time, and we have been doing surveys, both individual household surveys and business surveys. And confidentiality is paramount for us at the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. First, we are bound by the Statistics Act. We cannot divulge personal information, whether from the household side or the business side. In terms of how we disseminate information, we have to disseminate information in such a way that you cannot identify an individual or a business, right? In terms of the persons who will have access to the data. Even though I work at Statin and I'm in communication, I will not have anything to do with the data that is collected. It's only specific persons whose role it is to analyze the data or to collect the data will have control or will be privy to the information that is collected. And I like to also share this example. There are often times we get letters from persons who are being filed for from their relatives, and the embassy will ask, was John Brown living at 53 Hope Road during the last census? And we are not allowed to divulge such an information. Even, you'd say this is a situation where you want to help out the person or whatever.
Right.
We are bound by the Statistics Act, and we cannot and will not divulge anyone's personal information once it's collected.
Right. Final thing, you have tricksters and imposters out there. Tell us how the census takers will be properly identified.
All right. So our census takers will have their identification cards. And this time around, also for this census, individuals, if they're not certain if that person is legitimate, they can go on our website and they can put in the census taker ID number, and a picture of that census taker will come up along with the census taker name and the census taker supervisor and the supervisor contact information. So if you're still not certain that is the same person, you can call the supervisor to verify whether or not that person is a legitimate census taker.
All right. And a thought just came to me a while ago. Will there be any need for the population, persons to be actually touching anything? Would
No.
they need to sign anything, any touching of paper or anything?
No. So the census taker will come
on a tablet.
With a tablet, and that the census taker is the one who will be inputting the information in the tablet.
No need to sign the tablet because you know the technology and nothing in that.
No need to sign nothing.
Okay.
Of that sort.
All right. Okay. Any final thoughts in 1 minute?
Sure. Just want to encourage everyone. There's still time. Application for census taker and census supervisor ends on April 3rd. You can visit our website at census.statinja.gov.jm/careers to apply. Right. And we're encouraging everyone right across Jamaica to apply to become a census taker or a census supervisor. It's something that you can do on the weekend or in the afternoon. So you don't have to be unemployed to become a census taker.
Right. Thank you so very much for joining us, Mrs. Garvey Green. Have a productive day. Wish you all the best for the census taking exercise that is to begin soon. All right.
Thank you for
God
having me
bless
as well. Same to you.
you. Great. Great. All right. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we continue. Set the stage for discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information and how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-95967. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Miss Kathy Gale. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, thankful, and watchful as I hand you back to Love in the Morning with Roshane Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. Toussaint. All the best to you now.
And to you, Roshane.
NHF beneficiaries enrolled for diabetes can get a glucometer with the use of their NHF card. Apply online at nhf.org.jn.